Another clean shirt will do me.
I can tell where this is going to. All this pain, dressing up in them party clothes like nothing's changed. Baby, you can fake a smile, but I can see the truth. Something bad happened here. Okay, there's nothing you can do. You gotta cry it out. Cry it out. Sometimes you gotta scream and shout. Get mad at God. Mad at God. For hiding what it's all about. You gotta call him names. Call him names. Even if he's not to blame, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. None of this was meant to last. And hey, baby, this too shall pass. I can see the devil at your heels, and you won't slow down. Chasing you from bar to bar, all over town. The only way to break the spell is to say what's what. But you're already in living hell. Hey baby, now give it up. You gotta cry it out. Cry it out. Sometimes you gotta scream and shout. Get mad at God. Mad at God. For hiding what it's all about. You gotta call him names. Call him names. Even if he's not to blame, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. 'Cause none of this was meant to last. And hey baby, this too shall pass. A word to the wise, only the foolish are blind. The best way out is through. Well, love is done with you. For I know what it's all about. You gotta call him names. Even if he's not to blame, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. None of this was meant to last. Hey baby, this too shall pass. Cry it out. Get mad at God. For I know what it's all about. You gotta call him names. Even if it's not to blame, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. None of this was meant to last.
That's Paul Brady, of course. That's from an album, his last album, which was called, intellectually enough, Hooba Dooba. That's a track called Cry It Out. Good morning. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. The email address, I think I'll try some Nolan silences. 08459 555 678. The email address is jerry.anderson at bbc.co.uk. And the text messaging service is 81771. The fan letters pour in. I know I'm evil. Just heard you, this is Helen, just heard you telling more lies again the other day when you declared that your father took you by the hand to the boxing matches in the Guildhall in Derry, Londonderry. You failed to remind yourself that those big nights lasted only between 1959 and 1963. Therefore, it would have been quite weird to see you being taken by the hand of your father as you were 18 or 19 years old. Since you're now in your 68th year, I want to do something about that. In the paper recently it said that I was 67. These people, don't they get anything right? I remember Billy Kelly well. Billy Kelly, of course, a boxing legend, former European champion, and his father, the only father and son who ever held the European championship of any kind. He did not box in the Guildhall. I don't think he did. No, he didn't. I didn't say he did. He, in fact, with his father, opened a training gym called the Kelly Club for many of the boxers who did take part in those big international boxing nights. I am living in New York since 1968, but remember those nights well, as I was engaged to be married to the man who always topped the bill and was responsible for selling the Guildhall out. He was a heavyweight fighter, and unlike what you say, he in fact won all his fights and only had one KO. That was by the golden boy back then, Billy Walker. Even that wasn't a KO as such, in the sense that he never got back up. He got up in the count of 10 and the referee stopped the fight. I know, I was there and wasn't taken by the hand, as I was 16 at the time. I did not go on to marry him, but I still remember him with deep affection. I still have many relatives back in Derry, Stoke, Londonderry. I last visited in August 2010, and I intend to return in the year 2013, the year of culture. When I hear you belittle those men and the man I was once in love with, it makes me want to slap you really hard on your withered face. You're quite simply a liar. All 5'7" and 8 stone of you. It's almost 6:30 a.m. here, and even though in my early 60s I have work to go to, unlike you, of at least to make sure it's done, my husband is the CEO of the company. Thank you, Helen, for telling me that. That reminds me of a do I went to one time in Stormont. It was I won't tell you much about it. It was one of those things that you kind of go to, and I was asked to kind of be a compere, and all the politicians were there and all their wives and all these kind of strange people. And before the thing started, this reminds me of the person I'm just about to talk to you about. Before the thing started, the person who was running it said, listen, all the people are just kind of arriving there, and having a wee kind of orange, whatever it was. He said, would you go in and mingle? I said, of course I'll mingle. I'm a good mingler. So I went in and I went, hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Walking around, working the room. And there was these four ladies about like 60, 65 kind of thing, and looking quite prosperous, standing talking to each other. And I went over and I went, hello, girls, how are you? And they went, hello, how are you? And one of them was wearing a fur coat. So I said, that's a lovely fur coat. She said, thank you. I said, there's money in the country yet. She says, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. So I said, I'll see you later. Goodbye.
Walked into the room dressed in satin and navy, ought to be somebody's lady. It's all that you need. Up at the bar there's no need to order. Everything is done for her. Just has to sparkle and shine. Candles are lit, flowers arranged at her table. There's a message from Gable, says he's running behind. She's the queen, she's a lady, she's a one of a kind. She's forgotten all the life that she's left far behind. She's the dreamboat of many, sails over stormy seas. She's a two-faced lover, she's a star in distress. Every line is perfect cause it comes from the best. She's a household honey, front page VIP. Seated, being upstaged and defeated by some fast rising star. She feared that one day she'd be replaced and deleted. Now her contract's completed. Where does she go? Looks and the stares she's led from her table. So what about Gable? Well, he don't give a damn. She's the queen, she's the lady, she's a one of a kind. She's forgotten all the broken ones that she's left behind. Was the dreamboat of many, adrift on the stormy seas. She's a star-crossed lover, now the star's in a mess. Every line is perfect and it's cut by her best. She's a household honey, now it's all R.I.P.
That's Barry Fleming. That's a song called Housebound Honey. No, I'm sorry, Household Honey. A gentleman corrects me and said, you can tell, Gerry, that Billy Kelly was never European champion. You're absolutely right. It was his father. Both him and his father had British championships. Yes, they were. Of course, I didn't realise that. Well, I did realise that, but I didn't know. Gentleman writes to me cryptically, be careful what you wish for. Gerry, your number one fan, Rosemary from Oma here. I would love a wee song from Donna Taggart. I will play something from Donna Taggart very soon. I don't know why I don't do it. I just can't get organised. Happy Christmas, Turkey Neck. Thank you. This is something from yesterday. There was some dispute as to what the remains of an apple is called. We called it a butt of an apple in Ballyclare. Sean in Tyrone, a core as a butt. Used to call it a doot. And Belfast, apple core in Belfast called apple doots. Doots or dootsies for apple core. We in the shack will say, leave me your doots. As I think unanimously we call them doots. Radio Ulster, please play a happy 8th birthday to Emma Copeland at Seago Primary School. Her birthday was yesterday, love. And kisses from her daddy. Have a great party after school, and I hope you had. I'm sorry about that. Oh, another person writes to me and says, will you play some Willie Drennan rock and roll? I will indeed. Yes, Willie's rant. And another person says, what's that thing you used to do? You used to insert Catholic women's Christian names into song titles. Would you do that again? Well, I can't remember. Oh, that's right. There was Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Assumpta in the Way She Moves. Yeah, that's it. I'll try a few of those later. Joel Simon is with me. Good morning, Joel.
Hello, good morning, Gerry.
What about some shameless self-publicity here?
If you want, yes. I mean, it's not really your style, is it?
No, it's not. I don't do that. Now, Joel, you're Animator Supreme, and we're going to talk about a little series that starts next Monday called On the Air, which is the animated version of this programme.
That's right.
So you're the man behind it. You're the man who did it before. The first time you did it was, what, 2006?
2005 is when I got that crazy idea of listening to your radio show and thinking there might be something in it, there might be a way of turning you into plasticine and making you look good.
Difficult for me to say how great it is, because it sounds as if I'm saying that I'm great, but it's not. I look at it from a different point of view. I regard it as your work, to be honest with you. No, I do. And it's very funny, it's very good. I've seen them. They're on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week at 10:40, is it?
That's right, yes.
On BBC Northern Ireland. So I regard that as your work, so I can look at it dispassionately and say I think that's really good, because I don't feel as if I have anything to do with it.
Yes, I mean, the funny thing about On the Air is that I regard it as one of the best sort of shows we've worked on at the studio Flickerpix. But it's funny because it's not scripted. No. And, in comedy, the hardest thing is always to get good scripts, and the fact that On the Air is all based on real conversations sort of makes the job easier in a way, and yet in a funny way, because it's based on reality, we actually manage to find humour in sort of everyday mundane conversations.
And they are mundane.
Well, sometimes.
Well, if you take, for example, something like Creature Comforts. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they do that. They just seem to record people talking about, just very simple things. And I don't know if that's scripted or not. It sounds to me as if it isn't. I mean, they get two old dolls in the supermarket talking about the price of bread or something like that.
That's right.
And the funny thing is, it's the animals talking. That's
yes.
The funny thing about it. So that's probably an example of ordinary conversation being animated. But that's different. This is different because... when I watch them, I really don't know what's coming next, because I don't remember what happened. And what happens, you hear the thing and you see it differently. You see, if I'm sitting talking to somebody, I don't think in pictures. I don't know what it looks like, but you have an idea what it looks like. It's always completely different to what I think it looks like. So I'm constantly surprised when I see what you do with the soundtrack of this program. It's amazing.
Yes, but whenever we listen back to the archives of your radio shows, we're always surprised with some of the stuff that we hear. I mean, we never know what you're going to say or what some of your callers are going to talk about.
Neither do I.
And I think that's key, that's the beauty of the show. And whenever I listen to some of your phone-ins, even when live, sometimes I get these pictures in my head of what the callers would look like, because some of the voices and their accents are very distinctive. Mm-hmm. And that sort of inspires me then to come up with cartoon characters based solely around those voices.
That's right. And of course, Sean Coyle is insane, of course, and is given to irrational pieces of conversation just come out of the top of his head. He's liable to just talk about something, the price of doorknobs and bulbers, and then suddenly he'll talk about being buried. for no reason whatsoever. Anyway, tell me enough about us. The program is going to start on Monday night, and what about yourself? You're not from here. You're from Belgium.
That's right.
How did you end up here?
Well, it's a long story, which I'll try not to take over your program explaining everything. But in a nutshell, I came here in 1995 seeking education, and essentially not finding it. I joined a course in University of Ulster in 95 and dropped out of the course after 3 days because it just wasn't for me. But I was a bit stubborn at the time and young and foolish, and I decided to stay on in Northern Ireland for 1 year only before I'd move on to other things, and that was 17 years ago.
What was the course that you started that wasn't for you?
It was a visual communications course in University of Ulster.
Why was that no good for you?
Well, I've heard it's improved since. I think it's more reflection on me than on a course. To be honest, I'm just not the academic type. I think I'm more the doodling and drawing type rather than the studious type. You know.
But you work on all the kinds of things. I mean, it's Flickr Pics. That's
Flickr Pics,
your outfit.
animation studios. Yeah.
And tell me what else you're working at, or what else have you got coming up in the future?
Well, one job we've done recently, which has some of my friends not speaking to me anymore, is we've animated the duo Jedward.
Oh my God!
I know that's the reaction I get from pretty much everybody who's over 12. But we've basically animated Jedward as part of a game show for CBBC, the children's channel, and it was actually a really interesting job because although I'm not a Jedward fan, what the chiefs at CBBC have decided is to teach children of their age group 6 to 12 about history and about monuments in the UK, historical monuments. But they get Jedward, the pop duo, to go around to all these monuments like Hadrian's Wall and so forth, and try to be a tour guide for a day. And they have to compete against each other. And whenever they try to explain the history of that particular monument, we then lapse into animation and we animate them as historical characters. And it's all very kind of quirky and fun, but it does help to sort of teach history in an amusing way. Well,
all I can say is more power to your elbow. And if people want to check us out, it's Monday to Friday in Christmas week, BBC Northern Ireland. 10:35. Thank you for coming in, Joe.
Thank you.
He'd be a good man to animate. Willie Drennan. That big drum.
Some do marijuana, some do dope. That's what they do just to cope. Some do ecstasy or cocaine. That's what they do to lose their brain. But no, not us, where we come from. We just do the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum. We just do the lambeg drum. For their facts, hallucinations just for kicks. Some do tubs to get up high, and some do jobs to reach the sky. But no, not us, where we come from. We just do the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum. We just do the lambeg drum. Wine or whiskey to get them feeling fine or frisky. Some run for miles to escape and jump up and down to get in shape. No, not us, where we come from. We just do the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum. We just do the lambeg drum.
do transcendental meditation. Some zoomorph rugged chaps, and round the orbit do their traps. But no, not us where we come from. We just do the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum. We just do the lambeg drum. Some folk roar and some folk run. They tell all the people what they want. Some folk run and some folk roar. They tell the people they want more. No, not us, where we come from. We just do the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum. We just do the lambeg drum.
That's Willie Drennan, of course. Every time I play that, people complain. For instance, just lost a listener for playing that song. No, not Drennan again, bloody awful. Please play Shatner, Distraught Fenian. Well, I'll tell you what, if you don't like that, there's something wrong with you. I think it's fantastic. It's Lambig Rant Rap. It's from Willie Drennan, of course. I think it's great. Wonderful playing on it. It's just great. Because Willie tried that before. He tried to get the old rock and roll Ulster Scots going, and it didn't work. But now he's got it right. He's got it right. The album is called, see how excited I get? It's called Journey to Orion, Willie Drennan, Wired Up. I think it's fantastic. Now, you can get that. He's got a website. I think it's www.theulsterfolk.com. I think it's the newspaper as well, isn't it? Yeah. www.theulsterfolk.com. You'll find it all you need to know about that if you want it. When does On the Air start? Starts on Monday night at 10:40. BBC in Northern Ireland. Please play Galway Girl for Bruce and Ballymena, and happy Christmas to all. Gerry, what about the song title? I can see Deirdre now, Lorraine has gone. The one I like is Aoife. Aoife painting to... Stop. Let's not go down that road. Morning. If I annoy, would you give me $30? Oh, sorry. You know what I have not heard, Living in the Jungle or Sansin. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Try and write English. It's far better. And please play Big Blue Western Skies. I don't have a fancy computer. I want to tape it to learn it on the guitar. That's from Mickey and Leonard Doon. Right. This is Michelle, says an email. I don't normally introduce myself like this, but I want two ladies' ears to prick up. Please say a quick hello to Catherine and Elizabeth, or if you can't be bothered saying Catherine and Elizabeth, Kate and Liz. I can say Catherine and Elizabeth. I met them last night at the waterfront. 8 of us women went to see Frank, Sammy and Dean. Apparently, it wasn't the real Frank Sinatra. I was hoping it wouldn't be. No, the usual Frank impersonator wasn't there. I think some people may have complained. We didn't care. We'd round them out, much to the annoyance of people sitting in front of us. And if my sister didn't have bad luck, she'd have no luck at all. Our crowd were singing and chatting away all evening. At one point, she whispered to me like that. The usher came over and said, "Stop talking during the song." Back to Kate and Liz. I met Kate outside whilst we had a smoke. She admired my fur coat. I admired hers. Within seconds of meeting, we were stroking each other. Oh, Natron. They're faux fur, F-A-U-X fur. That's pronounced faux. I know it's pronounced that, meaning false. Don't pronounce it fox, because that's fox fur. Otherwise, people will think it's real fox fur. Know what I mean? Thank you. Very hungover. Michelle, thank you for that. Paul Casey is appearing live in this programme today after the news. He's got a wonderful album out. I'm going to tell you all about it.
Oh, baby, lie down next to me, next to me. worries, no sound next to me. Come on down. I am naked and cold. Place your boots beneath my bed, just like the poets of old. Whisper the dance inside your head. Oh, baby, lie down next to me, next to me. No worries, no sound next to me. Come on down. Sunshine comes and it flies. Darkness comes and it stays. With just the light in your eyes, that's all that matters anyway. Oh, baby, lie down next to me, next to me. No worries, no sound next to me. Come on down. And so this story begins. Kiss me there, stay a while. A candle brushed by the wind, forever burning again. Oh, baby, lie down next to me, next to me.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
It's 11 o'clock with BBC News. This is Keith Burnside. Officials in Japan say the power station involved in one of the world's worst nuclear accidents has been brought under control. In March, an earthquake and tsunami caused a meltdown in 3 of the reactors at the Fukushima plant. The government says conditions have now stabilised. Our correspondent in Tokyo, Roland Burke, says that represents an important milestone.
It means that the immediate crisis is at an end. The reactors, the power station is under control. But it is just one milestone on what's going to be a very long road to recovery for Japan, because now the country must think about decommissioning the power station. It must think about how to clean up all the radiation. And there have been warnings from experts in the Japanese press this week that that process could take as long as 40 years.
A report into sexual abuse by Catholic priests in the Netherlands estimates that more than 1 in 10 Dutch children could be victims. The number doubled to 20% of children who spent time in Catholic institutions. In Londonderry, a women's group has expressed concern about the PSNI's clear-up rate in rape cases. The comments follow the rape of a woman in an alleyway on the Strand Road. It's the 3rd such case in the city in as many months. Mary Brown of Women's Aid says she's worried the attackers aren't being caught.
I'm not aware of any convictions against rapists. I'm quite worried about how is these crimes being investigated? How well are they being investigated? What is happening locally? It's just quite worrying, and there is also a victim apathy about coming forward because you may not be listened to or you may not be heard.
The Finance Minister, Sammy Wilson, is to hold talks with the chairman of the Republic's bad debt bank, NAMA, about entering the mortgage market in Northern Ireland. The Irish Government agency controls over £3 billion worth of property loans here. It's to begin piloting a scheme in the Republic which guarantees buyers they won't lose money if the value of their house falls. Sport now, here's Denise Watson.
Michael O'Neill said goodbye to his Shamrock Rovers team last night. They lost 4-0 to Spurs in the Europa League. O'Neill is now preparing for an interview to become the new Northern Ireland manager.
The most important thing, I think, is the relationship between the people that work at a football club or a football association and a manager. So my strengths, I think, are my level of professionalism. I think I bring a common sense approach to a lot of things, and I think I'm good at preparing the team. I've shown that here in the League of Ireland, I've shown that in European games here, and it's up to other people to pinpoint what my qualities are, to be honest.
And the Champions League and Europa League draws are getting underway. Arsenal, Chelsea, the two Manchester clubs and Stoke are in the hat. I'll have more details at noon.
Look forward to that. On to the weather, and what can we expect, Angie Phillips?
It'll stay icy on some untreated roads, also where there are sleet or snow showers falling onto frozen surfaces, especially across parts of Fermanagh and Antrim, where a few centimetres of snow is likely on higher ground and slight coverings to low levels, making driving conditions hazardous. Sleet and snow showers will die out in the afternoon when it'll become drier and brighter with wintry sunshine, but still cold with highs of 3 to 5 Celsius.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
As mentioned in the weather, driving conditions are hazardous in many areas at the moment, particularly on the Windy Hill Road between Limavady and Coleraine, and also on the M2 around Ballygrooby and Sandyknow, so please drive carefully in each of those areas. A broken down lorry on the Hillhall Road outside Lisburn has been recovered now, and traffic is moving well in the area. And finally, a reminder that the traffic signals are all out at the junction of the A24 Saintfield Road and Mance Road between Belfast and Carryduff. Laura McDade reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
Thank you. Conor Bradford is here. Morning, Conor.
Hi there, Gerry. How are you?
Not
Enjoying
too
your
bad.
little trip up to Belfast, the big city, eh?
I like coming up here. The bumpkin comes up. What have you got in the programme today?
We got a few bits and pieces. One of them, should people end up in prison for dropping litter or cycling without a light on their bicycle?
John Coyle would like to see that.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yes. He wants everybody shot.
Banged up?
Yes.
Wearing a loud shirt in a built-up area, as
Yes.
Monty Python used to have it, isn't it? Well, if you don't pay a fine for some of these minor offences, you could well end up behind bars. It's happened to lots of people, apparently. Thousands of people in Northern Ireland every year, but should it, and how much is it all costing us? Is this the best way to deal with it all? Also, we'll be talking to the mother of a teenager who drowned after going missing in County Fermanagh, as 9 police officers are judged to have failed in their duties. Belfast's new Black Santa, he's back out on the steps of the cathedral, and he's going to tell us all about his plans for this year's fundraising, of course, become a bit of a tradition in Belfast at Christmas time. And I don't know how you feel about Brussels sprouts, Gerry.
I've no comment.
You don't like them?
I don't like them.
There's a glass of them on the market.
I know, big ones too, aren't they?
They're man-eaters. But we'll knock the old sprouts debate about anyway as well.
All right,
So
then.
there you are. That's Talk Back at 12.
Okay, talk back at 12. See you later, Conor.
Thank you, Gerry.
Bye.
There's a disc jockey in Hartlenberg who works at WANT. He puts 2 or 3 eggs in him, then he's in your car by 6 a.m. He lives for his job and he accepts his pay. You can call and request lay, lady, lay. He'll play Stanley Jordan, the Dead Little Feet, and he'll even play the band from the college down the street. And his name is Rex Bob Lowenstein. He's 47 going on 16. His request line's open, but he'll tell you where to go if you're dumb enough to ask him why he plays Hank Snow. Well, he tries to keep his talking to a minimum. He's a Democrat, he's a Republican. He's an ad man with a great voice, say some, but when he spins those records, he's neither one. He'll talk to the truckers on the interstate strip, the housewife and the car dealership. And when his second wife left him for a paper millionaire, he cried unashamedly right on the air. And his name is Rex Bob Lowenstein. He's 47 going on 16. His request line's open, but he makes no bones about why he plays Madonna after George Jones. What? Now one day a man in a pinstripe suit took the owner of the station to a restaurant booth. His pitch was simple: you'll increase your sales if you only play the song list we send in the mail. He guaranteed a larger audience, less confusion and higher points. But your drive time jock won't get to do his thing. Hey, he's not half bad, tell me what's his name? Well, his name is Rex Bob Lowenstein. He's frequently heard, but he's seldom seen. His formula's simple and his format's big. I just play it, then you call and tell me what you dig. Now Rex Bob David saw Lowenstein quit his job a week later, but before he'd leave, he locked and bolted the control room door and played smash or trash till they cuffed him on the floor. Where they drug him into court and the judge said, Rex, I gotta lock you up for what I'm not sure yet, but your boss here says he thinks you're wrapped too tight. But by the way, thanks for playing Moon River last night. And his name is Rex Bob Lowenstein. He's a framing bell inside a tambourine, and he could play it all if he was just set free. Just to find what the people W-A-N-T, just to find what the people W-A-N-T, just to find what the people W-A-N-T, just to find what the people W-A-N-T.
My hero, Rex Bob Lowenstein.
Just came to see our lives in bloom, watch them swallowed in the London gloom, see our dreams turn to vapor as we're crumpled up like paper, squashed up in a tiny room. From a dream of a life in mansions to the cold and the grey expansion of the concrete and the rubble, oh, I think that I'm in trouble here. From the gutter to St. Paul's Cathedral, there are barriers and walls and procedural blockades to obstruct any chance you might win, and the colour of your skin is akin to sin. And the wolves are at the front door, it's a circus at the back door, and the devil in the ether, and he's coming through the speakers of the radio. the ghost of a lost connection and the traces of a former direction. There in the hissing and the rasps and rejection, still we stand tall. From the cracks in the foundations we laid to the crumbling of the bridges we made, to the insults we trade. She gives to me in spoonsful what I gave to her in spades. And the wolves are at the front door. It's a circus at the back door. And the devil in the ether, and he's coming through the speakers of the radio. And the devil in the ether, and he's coming through the speakers of the radio. And the devil in the ether, and he's coming through the speakers of the radio.
That's Conor McAteer. That's a song called The Devil in the Ether. Right, Barbara from Nuthouse Hen Rescue. Barbara, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry. How are you?
I'm all right. Have we hit 300 yet?
Well, we have actually hit, I've got confirmed for definite homes for 262, with another gentleman putting an order in for another 20, which will bring us to 282, so I'm bringing out to 300. Realistically, I have to expect that we may lose some the first night, so I have to bring a few extra out anyway.
Just let me explain what this is. Barbara, of course, came on this programme a while back and suggested that it would be a good idea if people would help her to rescue hens. They're battery hens, basically, aren't they?
That's right, yeah.
And every once in a while, you can take them out of the farms where they are. Now, just for the benefit of people who don't know, why are they taken out? Is it because they're not well and the farmers want rid of them, or what?
No, when the hens reach a certain age, approximately 2 years old, they're past what they call their height of productivity.
I've reached that stage myself. Go
so
ahead.
Hi, Gerry.
Go ahead.
So they are what they politely call depopulated.
In other words, they kill them.
They slaughter them, yes.
Right.
And they replace them with new point of lays that are just started laying, and will then continue to some of them maybe even give them more than one egg a day. But at 2 years old, they're considered past it, basically. So they're just shipped out. So.
Well, what's the average lifespan of a hen? 5, 6?
Joe Blogg's hen, any other breeds can live till 10 or 11. To be realistic with the battery hens, you're probably talking, if you can get them out of the battery, keep them healthy, age 3 to, another 3 to 5 years maximum. Just their wee systems have been so overworked for years that it does take its toll on them.
Yeah, and it's interesting, when you do take them out, they're just like aliens, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
They don't know what to do.
They're very strange at first, but they come round, especially when they mix with other hens. They learn very quickly. If you have them on their own, it takes them a wee bit longer to learn, but eventually their natural instincts do come back to them.
I think it's lovely doing that, because, it's just nice to see that. To see a wee hen that had no hope or any kind of life at all suddenly poke its head out and say, oh, look, there's the sun.
Absolutely.
And there's grass, look.
The last 10 I took out, I've had them now for, that I kept for myself, I've had for about 8 weeks now.
A man contacted me the other day and he said that what he does, he makes little hen houses, basically.
Oh, right, yes, so does my partner. He's built all the ones.
Oh, really? And this fella said that anyone who wants to take a hen or whatever, a couple of hens, and they have no idea what to do with them, he'll build them a little house, and he's at the fair in Limavady every fourth Saturday, which he'll be there this Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
So anybody, maybe people might hesitate. But what do you want? You want more people to contact you and take a hen on?
Absolutely. I am not closing the bookings till about 7 o'clock tonight, because I'll probably pass out cold about 7 o'clock tonight, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up, it's an early start for me tomorrow at 5:30, because I have to leave the house at 7:30 to go to pick up the hens.
And what are you going to do with them? Would you put them on a lorry or something?
Well, I have a very kind neighbour. I've been very good at asking people for things, and they don't say no. I have a very kind neighbour who's got a large transit van, so we can stack the poultry crates in there to bring them home. I have an open-top trailer myself I was going to use, but it's just too cold to use that at this time of year. So we're going to stack the crates into the transit van, tie them down with ratchet straps, and get them home as quick as we can.
I think it's just a lovely thing to do. And where can people contact you if they want to enrol today before 7?
Yeah, the best thing to do is to go onto the website if they can, and there's an adoptions form there that they can fill. I'll be checking that every half hour or so. and that's www.nuthousehenrescue.co.uk.
Not House Hen Rescue. You see, it's a bit of a mouthful, that, so
Yeah.
we have to make sure that people get it. Not House Hen Rescue.com.
.co.uk or .com will take you there.
.co.uk, not househenrescue.com. Okay.
And if they don't have access to the internet, they can give me a ring on my mobile, which is 07973
Yeah.
270133.
Okay, I've got that.
But
All
I
right,
do
then.
I do actually have a job during the day, so I can't always answer it.
Not for long.
But if they not if they hear me on the radio. If they leave me a message, I will be phoning everybody back as long as their number's not withheld, or if they leave me a message, just to see whether they want any. Because we want to bring out as many as we can. Now, obviously, there's people who say, well, I would really like hens, but I don't have anywhere to put them, and it's too short notice.
Uh-huh.
Well, we intend to be doing one chicken run, as we're calling them, every month.
All right, then. That's great. Long may you prosper, and long may you continue to do that. I hope you get 400 out tomorrow.
Well, let's hope so, Gerry. And it is all thanks to you letting me have some airtime before.
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, what better thing could you do?
And they are absolute wee dotes. And I'm hoping you're going to call in tomorrow at some stage.
Oh, not tomorrow. I can't do it tomorrow, no.
Oh.
Unfortunately, no. But maybe some other time.
Okay.
I'll definitely do it sometime. Not
Oh.
tomorrow, unfortunately. I have to go way down south.
Oh, lucky you.
And it's maybe we'll do something again, will we?
Absolutely.
All
You
right,
come
then.
to one of the rescue days.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Gerry.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So that's 07973 270 133 www.nuthousehenrescue.co.uk. I think that's great.
When you're down at the bottom, can't find no one else there, and you think all's been said and done, I'm still holding on, 'cause I know we're gonna be just fine sooner or later when your love is mine. I know we're gonna be just fine sooner or later when your love is mine. If I had the words to tell you all I feel inside, then maybe all that I'm feeling I no longer need to hide, 'cause I know we're gonna be just fine sooner or later when your love is mine. I know we're gonna be just fine sooner or later when your love is mine. There comes a time once in your life, all's been said and done. That's when I know, yes, my baby. That's when I know you're still the one, 'cause I know we're gonna be just fine sooner or later when your love is mine. I know we're gonna be just fine sooner or later when your love is mine.
That's Grania Duffy. I'm with Paul Casey. Morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm good.
Can you hear Paul there? That's all right. Sorry about that, Paul. Paul, you've got a fantastic album out now called Big World. I've been playing it all weekend. It really is an amazing achievement. I don't say this lightly. I think it's fantastic. Are you happy with it?
I mean, it's kind of the best. I think it's the best kind of album I've put together in a while, so I'm really happy with it.
Do you think it's because, I mean, you've been... I said yesterday that you'd been doing a lot of work, yourself, but you've been producing Chris Ria's album, that new one. I was in Paris there last weekend. I saw this big poster for his tour in March, and it was publicising the album, which is called
Santa Spirito Blues.
Sorry. And you produced that?
Well, I recorded it all. I done all the tracking in his studio. I got the gig of recording. It's 3 albums. It's actually 3 albums, and it took
3?
a year to do, so...
Well, you must have. I mean, did you learn a lot in that experience?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always learning. I'm recording at home over the last load of years, and he loved the sound of the albums that I was making at home anyway, so that's how I got that gig. And I'm always just learning and, adding wee bits and pieces to the home studio.
You seem to have moved on to another level.
Well, that's good.
Production-wise. I don't know what it is, but, I'm not expert enough, but you seem to have moved on to another level. And it's called Big World, and you've got were the lads, were they with you in the album?
Liam's always been with me doing
Liam
stuff
Bradley on drums,
yeah,
of course, John Hodge on bass, and John McCullough on keyboards, right? And welcome. Do you want to do a track, or what do you feel like doing?
We'll do Big World.
Oh, yeah, please do. Title track, Big World.
Outside is a big world where big shots play. Inside are nightmares, they don't go away. Stops for no one. It can be yours. From the sun in the desert to the waves on the shore. Inside this little box, so much trying to get out. They'll suck you in, make you believe all they want.
That's Big World. That's the title track. Now, I'm looking at the tracks here. You've actually re-recorded a lot of things you've done. I see tracks here that you've done before.
Yeah.
So obviously you felt as if it was time to look at these again.
I'm always doing that because I always want to, as the productions always get better, and I always there's songs that I love, and I always think I can do a better version or a better, and I always like to do that.
Just now, it's never finished, really.
Yeah, and because I've just done a deal now with a publisher in America.
Yeah.
And they kind of were always suggesting songs that I should look at again because we're going to try to get a big release in America for this, with the label, and they just figured I should put the strongest songs on there. So
I think you'd have a good shot with this. Do they feel as if this could go in America?
I mean, the feedback.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, the feedback so far on this album is really strong. So fingers crossed.
And you live in Derry, right?
Yep.
And have you ever thought of moving out? I mean, does it help you not to be elsewhere, or whatever?
I don't know. I mean, if I went to London, I'd only be a smaller fish in a bigger pond. At least at home.
And the drink could probably get you. Drinking the drug would get you. Yeah. No, it's a difficult decision, really, isn't it? I mean, you're a married man, aren't you?
Yeah.
And did you ever consider that you should maybe leave and get in maybe go to New York or somewhere like that? Did you ever consider that?
I don't know.
You've got the talent, and it's obvious, that you've got the potential. Do you ever think that living in Derry it holds you back in any way?
I don't know. I think with the whole internet thing, it's kind of made the world a lot smaller, and you can get music out to people faster. And if something did come up where I had to go away, it's not a problem. I'll be away.
And if you find yourself #1 on the album charts in America, you may move.
I'm going.
You're out of here. Okay, would you want to do another one for that? I'd like to do as much as we can.
No bother. This is an old song. It's called "I Do."
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Time to see things through. Made my bed with you. Wanna see it from the side. Bought my ticket to ride. 'Cause when I'm where no one can see me, I'm always running and hiding. Switch on the light, and I'm afraid. I feel safer in the shade. 'Cause I do. Why do I do what I do? When I do what I do, yeah. Why do I do what I do? I guess I've always been the same, yeah. Since Mama told me everything. Love. Don't take time between the lines, 'cause I just jump right in for a good time. 'Cause I do. Why do the planet keeps on spinning round? People pick me up, some let me down, but I'll keep taking the blame. If it all changed, wouldn't feel the same. But I promise from now, I wish you could understand my mind. My train of thought don't run on tracks, 'cause where it goes you can never go back. But I do. Why do I do what I do? When I do what I do, yeah. Why do I do what I do? 'Cause I do. Why do I do what I do? When I do what I do, oh yeah. Why do I do what I do? Oh yeah, love, love.
Excellent. Well, judging by the sound, you obviously believe in surrounding yourself by the best musicians. Which is Liam, of course, is one of our best drummers, if not our best. And I'm not quite sure about John, but you're a fine bass player. And John, excellent on keyboards. I'm just looking at you seem to have done nearly everything on this album yourself.
Yeah.
Well, John, of course, John McCullough is playing piano on one track.
That's right.
And basically, Liam, of course, is playing drums and percussion all through. And the only other one is Brona Gallagher's doing vocals on one track. So in other words, you've done everything else.
Well, that's what I do. I mean, I just sit at home. My studio is kind of set up in my front room.
Have you no life?
Well, my two boys are running around the house while I made this album and while I mixed it, and it was crazy, but we got there anyway.
You play on the album. You're playing acoustic guitar and you're playing a wonderful electric guitar on it, which a lot of people have commented on those great solos. You're playing that. You're playing piano, except on that track 7 when John's playing, and you're playing bass. And you've done the string and horn arrangements. You've written the songs. You've produced the record. What are you, a nerd?
My Goldfish.
Amazing. But I mean, that's obviously what you've always done. And you were one of the first guys I realised that was making a wonderful job out of home recording.
Yeah.
Just using your laptop.
Yeah, I mean, I was using studios for years, but it just got to, the stage where, because I was always writing, and it got to the stage where I was spending too much money because I always wanted to record, and I eventually just got myself a little laptop, and I just found it really easy to get recording, and I really enjoyed it. And since that, I kind of haven't looked back. I've just been recording solid now, and just...
It's funny the way that works. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because from my point of view, actually, it's not a great thing, because people can record on themselves, they don't have to check if their material's all right before they actually go into the studio and record it. Yeah. So I get a lot of CDs that are really terrible, written by guys, at home. And they get really annoyed if you don't play them. They ring you up and say things like, did you get my CD? I said, yes. Why are you not playing it? I said, well, I don't know. I said, well, send it back then. You see, you don't realise how it works, you see. But on the other hand, somebody who's got real talent like you don't have to be spending a fortune in the studio. You can do it yourself, whereas you couldn't have done that 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, like I said, being in studios and being in that environment, you do learn a lot, and you learn I never went to school to I left school early, and I never went to school to do
we were
this.
all poor.
But it's just something that I found myself doing and really enjoying, and no, I love it.
Well, what about you're launching the album? Talk about the album now. People really have to hear this, because I think it's just about the best thing I've heard for years, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
And no, it really is. I wouldn't say that lightly, and it's great. And you're going to launch it basically tonight, aren't you? Where?
Yeah. There's a little independent record shop in Derry. It's one of the kind of best independent shops there. Cool Discs.
Yes, indeed. Cool Discs.
By Lee Mason, and he's a great champion of local music. So.
And he's been in there through thick and thin.
Yeah, he's still there, and he's still selling records. It's great, and it's always good to go in there and see your album on a shelf, rather than a digital download. So it's brilliant, and going to do a little acoustic launch tonight about 5:30 when everybody's getting out of their work, and hopefully they can call in. And
everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, at Cool Discs, Derry / Londonderry.
Yeah.
Tonight at what, 5:30? Did you say?
5:30.
All right. So what about your website? How can people? When will this be in the shops?
Well, it's available now from my website, and we're just gonna start putting it out there around all the shops in the north and stuff. So
it's www.paulcaseymusic.com.
That's it.
All right then. Now that last song wasn't on this.
No, that's from the last album.
Okay, is that one have you written that recently? I do.
No, well, it was on the last album, but it's it's just one that we really love playing, because we very rarely get the chance to play together as a band, so it's always good just to have a blast out,
All right. Do you fancy doing something else then?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
do you fancy?
I think we'll do Different Planet from the new album.
That. Yes.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. It's a different planet now, and it's still around, but it don't feel right somehow. It's a different planet now, but we've gone and changed it forever. See, my neighbor's got a different view, 'cause my sister live on the
sin skies you. 'Cause I'm not pointing my finger to blame. 'Cause all I'm trying to say is that we're all just the same. It's a different planet now, and it's still round, but it don't feel right. Somehow it's a different planet now, but we've gone and changed it forever. Yeah, but maybe we changed it for the good. So we just gotta see all the reasons why we should try to learn from the past. There's no stopping now, it's all moving too fast. Different planet now, and it's still round, but it don't feel right. Somehow it's a different planet now, but we've gone and changed it forever. It's as crazy for me as it is for you. Where do we go now? What is there left to do? Our father's dreams lie in shame. For our children, make sure we don't do it all again. It's a different planet now, and it's still round, but it don't feel right. Somehow it's a different planet now, but we've gone and changed it forever. Well, it's all come about, we feel, me and you, through the trenches down to our children's schools. The great silver birds are now weapons of the sky. Are we trying to live, or we just failing to survive? It's a different planet now, and it's still round, but it don't feel right. Somehow it's a different planet now, but we've gone and changed it forever. Lord, it's a different planet now, and it's still round, but it don't feel right. Somehow it's a different planet now, but we've gone and changed it forever. Lord, it's a different planet now, and it's still round, but it don't feel right somehow.
Good, excellent. On the record, is that the track with the young girl's voice?
That's my wee boy.
Oh, I love that. That's your wee fella.
That's my wee lad. Yeah.
And he's just repeating the words you sing, and with this lovely Derry accent. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, well, he was there when I was making it, and I just thought, you know what? Because the song is about, it's about change, and I wrote the song after 9/11, and it's about children, and I just thought, Dylan, come over here a second, and I got him to do it, and he loved it. I had to bribe him with a few biscuits, but he did it.
No, I think it sounds really good. It's kind of, I don't know, it just sounds a bit surreal.
Yeah.
Just really nice because you don't expect it, and it's really, really good. Well, listen, the best of luck with it. I know you probably only expected to do 3. Could you maybe do another one?
Could we do another one?
Could you?
Crash.
All right, then.
Let's do it, yeah.
So, listen, the album is called Big World, and it really is, well, you have to listen to it, and it's available, obviously, in the shops and www.talkback.com. Paul Casey Music, PaulCasey music.com. And you'll be doing a wee launch tonight in a record shop in Derry, Derry called Cool Discs.
Yeah.
At about, what, 5, half 5?
Half 5 tonight.
5:30, so everybody's welcome. So, Paul, thanks for coming down. Thank you to Liam Bradley and John Hodge and John McCullough. Thank you all very much, guys.
Thanks, Gerry. Thanks for supporting the album.
No.
Thank you.
No, I wouldn't do it if you weren't good.
We go? 1, 2, 3, 4. Thanks for letting me crash. My head was spinning so fast. I got people staring at me, but they don't see what I see. Silver walls around me. I got bubbles on the windscreen. But thanks for letting me crash. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. There's nothing coming at me. It's like living in a movie. My eyes are coming down on me, but I'm so blind that I see silver walls around me. I got bubbles on my windscreen, but thanks for letting me crash. 'Cause oh yeah, oh yeah. We step outside into the night sky, and the stars, they hypnotize. My body feels terrorized. Silver walls around me. I got bubbles on my windscreen, but thanks for letting me crash. 'Cause oh yeah, oh yeah. This road is coming fast, and I'm wondering, long will it last? Silver walls around me. I got bubbles on my windscreen, but these mountains stand before me. But thanks for letting me crash. 'Cause oh yeah, oh yeah. Thanks for letting me crash. Just thanks for letting me crash. Thanks for letting me crash. Oh, yeah. Thanks for letting me crash.
Felix Tucker was an honest man from the hills of East Tennessee. Spoke so a child could understand when he talked about honesty. Fought with the Corps in a
big world war, learned the flavor of a grain of sand. Came home in 45 to his wife named Marge and said, about to be an honest man. And he was, and he is, and he will be. Been honest since he was a kid. But the biggest lie that he ever told's the most honest thing he ever did. Now Felix had a 40-acre farm, grew some green beans, corn, and squash. His wife milked the cows and fed the chickens and did a little strong hand wash. But to make ends meet and to try to stay out of an honest financial mess, Felix took a job driving trucks up north for the Falcon Fireball Express. And he was, and he is, and he will be. Been honest since he was a kid. But the biggest lie that he ever told's the most honest thing he ever did. One day he drove up to Chicago town, did a turnaround and backed on in. The boys unloaded him a little too fast, then asked him to step right in. Said, we've known you to be an honest man since the first time we saw your face. Won't you run us a load down to New Orleans? What you hauling we don't want to say. Well, the terms were simple, the night was hot, and his paycheck bordered on large. So Felix set his mind into thinking, I'm doing this for me and Marge. He took the back road, so no one would catch him if they had it been up the creek. For the door was locked in Chicago town, and the key was mailed to New Orleans. And he was, and he is, and he will be. Been honest since he was a kid. But the biggest lie that he ever told was the most honest thing he ever did. Now Felix knew he was hauling firearms, 'cause he was an intelligent man. So when he put his rig up to the saltwater docks, well, he already had him a plan. He watched him unload and count every one, then he made sure he got his pay. And he pulled his gun and made them dump them in the ocean and blew their faces away. Now when Felix Tucker arrived back home, his wife was waiting at the door. Said, Felix, tell me all about your run. That's the longest you've been gone before. But he said, honey, I pilfered, I trifled, I murdered, I lied, and I stole. And she said, oh, hush and eat your supper before everything gets cold. He was, and he is, and he will be. Been honest since he was a kid. But the biggest lie that he ever told's the most honest thing he ever did.
That's another track from Mark Jimeno. I played his track earlier on, Rex Bob Lowenstein. Very underestimated singer. Great, and that album was called Rank and File, Rex Bob Lowenstein. Just some more messages here. There's heavy snow in the Garva area, so be careful. Here's a song title for Gerry. Don't Cry for Me, Margaret or Tina. Lots of people enjoyed Paul Casey, of course. It's great seeing Paul Casey at Glasgowbury every year. Ireland's biggest small festival. Keep up the good work. At St Paul and the band from all in Draperstown. Just to say, Paul Casey sounds as good live as he does in CD. Amazing. Can you... terrific. This guy is a star. How can I buy this? Well, www.paulcaseymusic.com. Hello, Gerry. Asked where can I get his new album. Well, it's online and it's on his website, and it's brilliant, it says here, and way above everything out there, cerebrally, musically and lyrically. Yes, I agree with that. Gerry, I know your fondness for text, so I don't expect to hear this. Just to say that I enjoy your programme. Thank you. How much is she looking for the hens? You see, that's the wrong approach. Hi, Gerry. We're all waiting patiently in the salon hairdressers in Kilray for you to play some Emma Reid. Oh, I will, but I don't have it with me. I'll play Emma on Monday, of course. I will. Ask Gerry to ask Paul Casey before he goes. His child's name that sings on the record is Dylan. Yes. Was it Bob or Dylan Thomas he named him after? Neither, apparently. It was Dylan McDermott, the actor. So there we are. See, you ask a question and you get an answer. Look, Seamus Heaney's writing to me again. I wish he'd leave me alone. He says, as a boy, Christmas used to fill my childhood heart with unboundless joy and happiness, bordering on celestial bliss. Snow, white virginal snow, falling softly and silently like eider down. Oh, the magic of a snowflake, clinging to an eyelash. The hungry robin with pleading eye, the cackling goose who soon will die. Icicles hanging from the eaves, clean your snotter with your sleeve. All about, so still, so still. Three wise men talk on Brady's Hill. Big Paddy Sullivan, Robert Laker, wee one-eyed Joe, the potsheen maker. I would play at the Haggart, 2 foot high and rising, just a boy, a lump of a cub. Seeing magic in everything, the way frost clings to the trees, the way urine turns the snow yellow. Ah, the magic is gone from Christmas. What is it now? But a good feed and a pair of socks. Yet sometimes I creep from my bed on Christmas Eve and write my name on the blank page of white virginal snow. Many things have changed, but the snow still turns yellow. How magical, how truly magical. Here's Wally Drennan again.
Say there go those motorway blues, the place to go to turn on your radio, and sure don't you know you'll hear those motorway blues. When the horns go beeping, don't go weeping, for soon it'll creeping, you'll hear those motorway blues. Give me those motorway blues. Give me those, give me those, give me those motorway blues. She'll know I'm a come when she hears me humming and strumming those motorway blues. She'll know I'm on my way when the radio's playing. The DJ say there goes those motorway blues. She'll leave her aboard with her highway code for the road and those motorway blues.
It's not your conventional motorway blues.
Give me those, give me those, give me those motorway blues. Give me those, give me those, give me those, give me those.
A blizzard is enveloping Oma. Slow down, you drivers.
Sky, you're born and you die. You'll never order way to get those motorway blues. Stuck beneath the sun, a place to run. Still have fun when you get those motorway blues. Stuck beneath the moon, you will swim. Then you'll grin to those motorway blues. Give me those, give me those, give me those, give me those motorway blues. Give me those, give me those, give me those, give me those motorway blues.
This, of course, is Willie Drennan from his album. Be careful on the roads now. Conditions are treacherous. I'll be back on Monday.
Get my guitar out, sing and shout. That's what it's all about. Get those motorway blues. Car ahead, thought they were dead. Then instead, sung those motorway blues. Car behind, they're my kind. So refined, singing those motorway